to this story. One of the participants of my sugar-free recovery program, which is a one-on-one, exclusive, and extremely personalized program to quit sugar and recover from ultra-processed food addiction. So a new participant of mine sent me this voice message where she really was talking about she had had a hard day or a hard couple of days, and she said how she feels like it's such a struggle, like she's always fighting this urge to eat sugar and junk, and it's such a struggle and it's such a fight, and she's so tired and it's so hard, and she doesn't know if she can do this long term because it's so hard. So this woman, who we're going to call her Etty, even though that's not her real name because we're going to protect her privacy. So I want to share with you what I said to Etty, because for her, my answer to her about this was a real aha moment for her and really turned around her thinking and attitude towards food. Because the goal of the sugar-free recovery program, or any recovery actually from any addiction, but certainly from sugar and ultra-processed food addiction, it's not just about abstaining from the foods that cause craving and loss of control. Now that's the physical side, and that's very important to build a food plan that doesn't put you into this vicious cycle of cravings, because there are many people who, when they want sugar or want sweets or want ultra processed food and they eat just a little bit, it doesn't dampen that desire. What it does is it opens this bottomless pit of lack of control, and it's just this vicious cycle that the more they eat, the more they want, and then they eat even more and want even more, and it's like this obsessive thing 24/7. How do I know that? Because I was like that for many years. And when I began abstaining physically, the physical craving was much less, but it's not enough. And this is the important point about it. This is the importance point between the difference of any kind of physical sugar detox to really getting into recovery from sugar or ultra-processed food addiction. And that is, if you want to stop fighting, you need to get out of the rink. I'm going to say that again. If you want to stop fighting, get out of the rink. So let's expand on that. Now, I always say that if we want to, I heard this from a dear colleague and someone who I greatly admire, Molly Carmel, who said there are two relationships that we can't run away from: a relationship with ourselves and our relationship with food. Anybody who really wants long-term recovery has to understand that part of their lifelong work is changing their relationship with food. So if you want to get out of the rink with foods that are knocking you down again and again, just don't get in with them. Now, that's not always so easy, but here's the thing. One of the things that's so important in getting out of the rink is changing that inner talk when it comes to these desserts and junk foods and ultra processed foods and breads and all the things that maybe cause you cravings. So instead of thinking about them in this thing of like yearning, oh, poor me, I can't have them. Look at my skinny friend, how she can take a bite and then she just puts it away and just has a little, or look how she eats it and doesn't gain weight. And if I would eat that amount, I would gain weight. And there are people like that. I'm like that too. Some people just tend to gain weight more quickly. Or this kind of thing like, oh, it looks so delicious, and look, it's so unfair that I can't have that. So when we have that inner talk, of course we're fighting, because we're still in the rink with these things, which we're still in this like relationship of we're still in this place of wanting to have a relationship and wanting to interact with these foods. But if you kind of compare it to maybe like an abusive romantic relationship that became abusive, right? So there were good times and we're going to miss those good times. I get that. I totally get that. I miss these foods sometimes, but there's a difference between missing it and like this self-pity or this yearning and this like sort of saying this, it's this wonderful ideal thing that like, and now like I have to like not have it and I have to fight it. But instead, getting out of the rink is learning to love food that loves you back. And really ending that relationship, that like admire, or like it's like this superpower, it's this wonderful thing relationship with these foods that are not doing anything wonderful for you anymore. I get it. They look great. They're socially accepted. They taste good. I'm not going to say that they don't taste delicious, but I know that there are lots of drugs that give an amazing high, and I won't use them because they're addictive, and I might ruin my life by getting addicted to that wonderful feeling. So yes, there are, but when we get out of the rink and we take perspective and we look at it not from this like yearning and longing and passion and self-pity, but from a place of like taking a step back a minute and looking outside the rink and seeing what these foods have done to me. You know, I got knocked around a lot by these foods. And yeah, there were good times, but the truth is that last years of my severe food addiction, those good times were few and far between. It was mostly just about uncontrolled obsession and yearning, and not ever actually getting to satisfy that whatever it was I was looking to satisfy, and eating and eating and eating and trying to satisfy it and never feeling satisfied. So getting out of the rink means taking a step back and understanding that we need sometimes to part or change our relationship with, and understand that these ultra processed foods, yeah, they look great, they taste delicious, but they're not the good guys. They're really not the good guys. Not to somebody who sees themselves as as having an addiction to sugar or ultra processed foods. For us, they are not the good guys. For us, when we get in the rink with them, we just get knocked around. So it's really, yeah, and yes, it is a parting. And yeah, that can be painful. Absolutely. But here's the thing. Changing the relationship with food and developing a loving relationship with food that loves me back, and disconnecting in a relationship manner from the foods that just knock me down again and again. That's not easy. That's a real process. That's our life project. Not easy. But you know what? Worrying about excess fat and weight gain and not liking how I look like in the mirror and feeling out of control all the time and obsessed all the time and worried and scared about my health, and feeling like a failure, and the shame and blaming myself, well, that's no picnic either. So sometimes we have to choose our hard, because if I could just eat just a tiny bit of these, I'll get in the rink, interact with these foods and just move on my merry way like some people can, then I wouldn't be a food addiction counselor. I wouldn't have as a life mission helping people to get into a good place with their relationship with food the same way that I did. So sometimes that's not an option. And we also have to part with that, with the fantasy that one day we'll be able to just get in the rink, interact healthily, and then get out and go on our merry way. Now, maybe there are some people who can do that after a certain time of abstinence, or once they change their relationship with food. But I'm here for those people who can't, and who really want to really disconnect and really stay out of the rink from those foods, and in parallel build a healthy, loving relationship with real food, the food that loves us back. This is my message to you for today. And if you'd like to do that, but you don't think you can do it on your own and you need help, well, there's a contact form here, and you can reach out to me and we can have a free strategy call to discuss how my sugar-free recovery program can perhaps help you. And don't forget, if you think this is an important message, like and share this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.